Hi friends, it's Lisa Mears here. Thanks for joining me. In this video, I'll be sharing the Stamps of Life Club products for the month of November of 2024. And after my unboxing, I'll be making some cards with these products. So let's start out with the Stamp and Die Hard Club set, which is the Winter Birds. So here's a look at the stamp set. There are 2 large birds and 3 smaller birds. There's also a holly leaf and some branches and several sentiments such as hello, you make my heart smile, you are a tweet friend, winter greetings, sending warm chirps your way, and winter wishes. So if you're a member of the Stamp Club, you'll receive the stamp set, and if you're a member of the Die Hard Club, you'll receive the stamp with the coordinating dies. So let's go ahead and take a look at this month's card kit. This card kit contains lots of goodies to make several cards, and it's always the same theme as the Stamp and Die Hard Club set of the month. So this card kit is called the Cheer Up Collection. And here is an inspiration card. You always get an inspiration card included in the card kit to give you some ideas of how to use the kit. I'm going to go ahead and set some of this aside, and we'll take a look at the envelopes and the cardstock next. In every card kit, you get a pack of A2 size envelopes, and these are white envelopes for your completed cards. You also get a large plastic storage envelope that you can store your cardstock in or the card kit contents. And let's go ahead and take a look at the cardstock colors that are included. This month you're getting 13 pieces of cardstock, 8.5 by 11 inches, starting with the color green apple, cranberry. Next is a pink color. I believe this is the candy cardstock. You also get the ocean and the sea glass colors, which are beautiful teal. There's midnight, which is a navy blue, and then blueberry, which is a brighter blue. You also get 2 grays, which are the darker one is the storm and the lighter one is the cloud, and you get 4 sheets of the powdered sugar, which is the white cardstock. So there's the color palette for this month's kit. Let's go ahead and take a look now at the pattern paper pad. This pattern paper pad is the Cheer Up collection, and there are some birds, and there's also papers in the same color as the cardstock colors that have the white dots, almost looks like snowflakes, and you also get the word cheer. Now this word cheer is the same as the word die that's also included in this kit, but that word die is the words cheer up. There's the red with the white dots, and then you have more of the winter birds that you can die cut with the coordinating dies. You can use the shadow die to die cut those out. There's some solids in this paper pad. You can see the wreath that's there, and then some more of the polka dotted papers. And then there's a gray with the white dots. There's some more birds. Now with this page of winter birds, you will need the more winter birds dies to die cut those out, and those dies are an additional purchase, but you can always fussy cut them with your scissors. They're pretty large, so it looks like they would be an easy cut. So just flipping through here so you can see the rest of these papers. It's such a beautiful color palette. I love those diagonal stripes. There's more birds. So you do get 2 of each one of those pattern papers. Next is an A1 bouncy side fold card set. This is an A1 size and it's an actual card die. So here's a look at what it looks like. It has a fun decorative front. It also has 3 word dies, one that says you are the best, the next one says thanks, and then the one at the bottom says things will get better. I did die cut 2 of the 3 just so you can see what they look like. There are shadow dies available with these, which I did not die cut. I just wanted you to see the words. And remember, there's also the word thanks, which is not shown. Also included is a sheet of winter bird stickers, and I really like these because these are smaller sizes than the die cuts from the paper pad, which is nice for a different size variety. And there's also a sheet of snowflake and tree stickers and some sticker sentiments. So there's 5 there: winter wishes, thinking of you, missing you so much, it's your day, and hey friend. There's also some large round gems, and these are stickers, as well as some ribbon. So that's everything included in the card kit. If you are interested in joining any of the Stamps of Life clubs, I will have a link down in the description box of this YouTube video where you can find out more information about these clubs. And if you're interested in signing up to be a club member, or if you're interested in upgrading your membership and you use code Lisa Mears when you sign up or upgrade, you will get $5 in bonus club points that you can spend in the Stamps of Life store. Let's go ahead and make some cards with these club products. I am going to start out by using this A1 die set to make my first card. So this die set includes not only the card base, but it also includes layering dies. You have a layering die, which is that decorative die for the top or the front of the card, as well as the rectangle for the inside of the card, and then you get the 3 word dies. So here's what the card base looks like. I die cut it out of the Midnight cardstock. It does put a scoring line right in the middle so you can easily fold your cardstock, but I love that it does include that decorative card base. So I'm going to set that aside for now, and let's look at what else I die cut here. So I have this pattern paper, and I used the same card base die to die cut this piece, but I only used the fancy part of that die set to die cut it because I wanted that piece to fit right over the top of the front of the card base that I die cut out of the Midnight cardstock. I also used the layering die, which is a little bit smaller. It's still the same decorative edge, but it's a little bit smaller so that when you layer the pattern paper on top of that, you can actually see the red pattern paper peeking through the edge. Now, of course, if you don't want to have the red pattern paper underneath, you don't have to use that. You can just put the layering die right over top of the card base, and that would still look nice. But I wanted to have several different layers, so that's why I die cut the red pattern paper as well. There's also that rectangle die. You can die cut some paper, and it can go on the inside of the card base. So if I, for example, were to die cut this piece of cardstock, it would give me a layering piece then to put on the inside of the card. And if you wanted to, you can even die cut that layering die that goes on the top of the card. Here I die cut it out of white cardstock, and you can put it on the inside of the card as well. So you can really choose which one you want to have on the inside, but because I die cut the card base with such a dark piece of cardstock, you need to include a layering piece on the inside so that you can write a message. So let's go ahead and put this card together. I'm going to start with this piece of pattern paper that I die cut with the layering die. This is going to be the top of my card, and I have one of the tree holographic stickers, and I'm going to go ahead and stick that down on the right side, and I'm going to use one of the bird stickers and I'm going to stick that down on top. So you can see by the way I'm adding my stickers that this card is going to be a landscape card, but if you wanted it to be a vertical card or portrait card, you can totally do that as well. And if you wanted to use one of the large winter bird die cuts from the paper pad, you can totally fit that on this card front if you did a portrait type of card. So I'm going to go ahead and position my stamp on my layering piece. I'm using the Winter Greetings stamp from the Stamp Club set. And I'm just stamping this down with some black ink. I'm stamping it a couple times just to get a really nice black impression. And then I'm going to come back to my sticker sheet and I'm going to add one of the holly leaves there next to the bird. And I'm going to go ahead and add this layer on top of the red dotted layer. I think that red pattern paper peeking on the edge of that top layering piece looks so pretty. And then I'll go ahead and add this layer to the card base. So I'm just lining it up. Remember, it was cut with the same die, so it's going to fit perfectly. So I'll press that down really well. And now I'm going to add the inside of the card. So I can add the white layering piece to the inside, or I can take the rectangle die and die cut another piece of pattern paper and add that to the inside and even put the white layer on top of that. And I think that's what I'm going to do here, because I think by adding the extra pattern paper, it just makes this card just look so pretty and so much more festive. Now, because that pattern paper is a little busy for me to be able to write a message on the top of it, I will be using this white layering piece. I'm going to go ahead and stamp a sentiment on the inside, and then if I wanted to write a message around that, I can do so. So I'm just adding the layering piece to my Misti and lining up the stamp and stamping it down, and this says, "Sending warm chirps your way." So I just stamp that out with black ink, and then I'll go ahead and add that to the inside of my card. Next, I used the ribbon from the card kit and tied a bow, and I'm going to add a glue dot to the back of that bow, and I'm going to add that to the top of the card. I think that ribbon just ties everything together. I think that looks really pretty. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to dig in my stash for some silver gems, and I'm going to add 3 of them to the front. And that just adds a little bit of sparkle to the card, and that card is complete. For my next card, I have a piece of red cardstock I cut to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and I cut a piece of pattern paper to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm adding it to the top of that red cardstock. I'm going to take a piece of ribbon and I'm just cutting it down so that it's just a little bit longer than the width of the card. And then I die cut a circle frame die from some ginger snap cardstock. This is a frame from Pretty Pink Posh. I will have it linked down below in case anybody's interested in finding out more about that die. I will be using that circle as the focal point for my card. But in the meantime, I'm adding some double-sided adhesive tape to the back of the sides of the ribbon, and I'm just wrapping those edges of the ribbon around the back of the card. So I'm putting that ribbon towards the lower portion of that card panel, again, and just wrapping the edges around the back. I will add that circle frame towards the top of the card. It's going to overlap the ribbon just slightly. And then I'm going to bring in one of the branches that I die cut from the pattern paper pad, and I'm going to stick the left side underneath the frame, and that branch will overlap the frame on the right side. And then I'm going to add a bird right to the center. And that bird I'm going to make sure is sitting on the branch, so the legs will be right on top of that branch. I'll be using the holly leaf die from the Winter Birds die set, and I die cut it with some of the green apple cardstock for the leaves and the cranberry cardstock for the berries. And I'm just going to add one of the holly leaves right there next to the bird. For the sentiment, I stamped out Winter Wishes, and I'm using a small circle die and die cutting that sentiment from the cardstock. So there is my sentiment, and then I'm going to take a larger circle die and layer it onto the larger circle die that I die cut out of the cranberry cardstock. And that sentiment circle is going to go at the top left side of the card. I tied the ribbon into a bow. I'm adding a glue dot, and I'm going to add that to the bottom center of the card, right in the center of the existing ribbon that's already attached to that card front. I created a card base with the Ginger Snap cardstock, and by the way, this cardstock did not come in the card kit. It was from my stash. My card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches, and I'm adding that card layer to the card base. Next, I'm using a white gel pen just to add some accents to the die cuts. So I added some to the berries and to the leaves, and then I'm also going to add some to the bird. And I think adding these white accents just adds for some more depth to these die cut pieces. So here's a close-up. I love how this card turned out. For my next card, I have a piece of the ocean cardstock that I die cut with a stitched rectangle die, and I'm inking up the edges with Peacock Feathers Distress Oxide ink. I'm also going to be bringing in the arch dies that were from the October card kit from the Stamps of Life, and I die cut the arches out of the white cardstock and the blue pattern paper, and I'm just layering those two pieces together. I am going to be using the Winter Wishes sentiment sticker, so I added that just temporarily to the bottom of that arch, and I'm just lining up some of the birds. I am going to be using two birds, a larger bird at the bottom right, and I'll be using a smaller bird inside of this arch as well, and these are the stickers from the kit. Now the Winter Wishes sentiment, I did add some foam to the back just so that it's popped up on that layer. I'll go ahead and add that on the bottom of the arch. And then I'm going to bring in some of the snowflake holographic stickers and add them to the card. I'm going to be using 3 of them. A small one, a medium-sized one. I'll put those at the top. I put a large one at the bottom, but I'm going to go in and remove that sticker because I think it's a little too large, and I'm going to replace it with one of the medium-sized snowflakes. I'll go ahead and add that arch layer to the stitched rectangle layer. And then I'll add that entire layer to a white A2 size card base. I'm going to use the silver gems from my stash and add one to the center of each one of the snowflakes. And then I'm going to go ahead and add one of the holly leaves to the top left-hand corner of that arch. I will use my white gel pen to add some accents to those die cuts. This card almost resembles a snow globe. I really love how it turned out. For my next card, I have several layers. I have a piece of the cranberry cardstock I die cut with a scalloped rectangle die, and I'm adding that to a piece of ocean cardstock that's cut to 4¼ by 5½ inches. I also have a piece of pattern paper that I cut to 3½ by 4¾ and I added that on top of the scalloped rectangle. And then I have 2 scallop ovals, one cut with the cranberry cardstock and one cut with a piece of the pattern paper, and I'm just going to layer the 2 of them together. So I have a lot of layers on this card, but I love how they're all tied in together with the scallops. And I also love how the cranberry cardstock provides a layer between the different pattern papers. I am going to use one of the winter birds from the paper pad as well as one of the branches. So I'll add the branch first, and then I'll add the bird right on top so it looks like he's sitting on the branch. I'll add one of the poinsettia stickers next to the bird, and I'm also going to tuck a leaf behind the bird on the right hand side. I stamped the sentiment hello on some white cardstock, and I just cut some little white cardstock scraps, and I'm layering those 2 pieces together to put under the right side of that sentiment, and I'm going to add that to the card. The reason I did that is because the left side of the sentiment is going to sit up higher because it's positioned on two pieces of cardstock versus the right side of that sentiment is not. So I just needed to add up the layers on the right side of the sentiment so it would sit flat on my card. Next, I'm going to add that layer to an A2 size white card base. And then I'll finish this card up by adding 3 of the silver gems to my card. So that will complete this card. I would love to know which card out of all of the cards you've seen today, which one is your favorite? Leave me a comment down below. Again, if you're interested in joining any of the clubs, check the link in the description box below. And as always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like videos like this and want to see more, be sure to click that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day. Bye-bye.